Pulmonary rehabilitation is typically for patients who have chronic lung disease. And what we do is we take them in and we teach them a bit about their disease, so give them some education on their disease, and work them through some low-level exercising so that they can build up their exercise tolerance and that it helps, with their pulmonary status. In New Brunswick alone, if I'm thinking about the stats from 2016, admissions to hospital for exacerbations of COPD were second only to childbirth, and it ended up costing our province about $23 million. With pulmonary rehab, we work on that chronic disease self-management side, and the idea is that we give these patients education, we help with the exercise tolerance, and they avoid trips to the emergency room and hopefully hospitalizations and admissions as well.
Individuals show up in pulmonary rehab because COPD is controlling their lives. When they leave rehab, we've shown them how to control COPD. So now they're running the show.
2 months ago, or 10 weeks ago, when we started this program, I was seriously thinking of selling my home. It's got 24 stairs. It was gasping for breath by the time I got up to my bedroom. And now I can go up and it's just joyful.
What rehab does, it offers any individual, regardless of what stage you're at, the ability to lead a decent life, even if you're living with COPD, regardless of your age, regardless of your stage.
This program is all run by students. This program is worked into their clinical rotations, which is great because lots of our students have trouble finding community placements, and it really bridges the gap between what they're learning in class and also what they're seeing hands-on, working with these patients, getting to know them, knowing about their disease.
As a respiratory therapy student, we work a lot with pulmonary function and trying to maintain that function throughout a patient's life. So especially when the patient has been smoking and they have COPD, we learn extensively about that disease and how to treat it. We work through like a stepwise process on how to treat that disease, and it's really good to see that people are able to get out and be able to help their disease process and have a better quality of life throughout that.
Over 8 weeks, people improve immensely. So from the time they come in, they do their first testing, and you can see that they're struggling with their breathing and their ability to exercise. And throughout the 8 weeks, you can see progress happen right in front of your eyes. So by the end, they're doing their tests, they're walking on treadmills and talking, and they're having no issues. They improve incredibly.
Number one, I think it's good for them, and I'm sure it gives them a lot of confidence. And I have to tell you that from we old folks who've been cloistered now for 13 months, 14 months, this is really a social event. And you get to see all these young people who have got their lives in front of them, working towards their professional standing, etc. It's really neat, and they're very good, and they give us old folks a lot of fun, and they lead a good course too.
In 2018, the respiratory therapy program in the New Brunswick Community College's School of Health and Wellness was supported by our Applied Research and Innovation Department to go ahead and apply for some funding to operationalize a proof of concept for our pulmonary rehabilitation clinic. And it was meant to be for seniors with moderate to severe COPD. So funding was received by the Canadian Institute for Health Research through their College and Community Social Innovation Fund.
From that pilot, we were able to apply to the New Brunswick government through the Aging Secretariat in their Healthy Seniors Pilot Project, and they gave us a substantially larger amount of money, and that's where we are today.
I have always been, in my community role, involved in interprofessional activities and practice. And my early days before education and research was working in community health centers. And I've seen the benefit of being able to add the perspectives of different healthcare providers and disciplines in the management of client illness and supporting them. And working together as a team brings a lot of benefits, I think, to clients. And so what drew me to this particular project was that I had already been involved with some of the interprofessional education and collaboration exercises between University of New Brunswick and New Brunswick Community College, and had the fortunate ability to be able to participate with many of my colleagues in other health disciplines. And so for me as an educator, and specifically with regards to community health, I think there's a benefit to being able to get students working together early on in their education before they actually go out to practice, so they know what it's like to be able to work together in an interdisciplinary or interprofessional team.
It means the world for the college to be able to support this, and for this pulmonary rehabilitation project in particular, it's amazing for the college to be part of that ecosystem that exists there in Tucker Park in St. John, where we have the co-location of our Allied Health Education Center with UNB St. John, Dal Med, Horizon Health, and the St. John Regional Hospital. There's just so much expertise there, fairly centrally located. So this project has been a sterling example of how we work within that location and leverage as much of our expertise and get as much students involved as we can.
This actually was one of the goals when we did develop the program. Was interprofessional education is a huge aspect of healthcare today, more so than it was even in the 90s, because we started to realize that the patients benefit from a collaborative approach from all healthcare disciplines working together. When we get together and work as a team, the one who benefits the most is going to be the recipient of those services, and that's the patient. And together we're able to give that patient a lot more for their dollar, basically, if you want to say it in that sense. As far as an interprofessional education event, there's nothing we could produce that would be better than this. It was real world experience with real world patients, and the learners were seeing the difference.
Some of the memorable moments that I've had is just communicating with the patients on a day-to-day basis and seeing how happy they are and seeing their smile when they leave.
I would boast and boast and boast and boast about this program. It has, well, like I said, it's given me a new lease on life.
And for it's moments like those of being involved in that we're really, you can see we're improving their quality of life. They're coming in and they're saying, look, I'm doing things I've never done before. I'm more flexible, I can touch my toes again, or doing things I haven't done in 10 years. They're now able to actually leave their house and go for a walk. So for me, all those moments are just absolutely breathtaking.
Every single individual living with COPD, regardless of what stage they're at, where they live in the world, if they can get access to pulmonary rehabilitation, it will change their lives, I guarantee it.